I've employed two, lots of employees I have inside a one team lead, right? Then inside this another team lead, I have another team, right? Another employees, right? All of you, everyone. So can you see? We have the three like structure here. Manager, inside the manager, we have the two teams. Inside the teams, we have the many employees. Inside the employees, they can be senior employees, they can be junior employees. Inside the senior employees, we can have the interns, right? Inside the junior, we can have the different other participants, right? So we form some kind of a hierarchies here. So that is basically said to be the hierarchical database management system, where manager is the root node, and this all are considered to be the leaf nodes and terminal nodes, guys, right? So this for in order to store the data in basically this formats, so we use the hierarchical DBMS for it. Got it, Abhishek and others? ठीक है, एक है हमारे पास network database. Network means, can you say what is meant by network? All of you? What do you understand by the network database management system? Okay, it is similar to the hierarchical only. It just, guys, this all the things are just basically connected one. Okay, if I'm going to share it out, if I'll say network DBMS, okay, if I'll show the network DBMS diagram, okay, you can see, guys, this is called as a network DBMS diagram. Can you see, all of you? This is the project. It is related to the hierarchical only. It is more similar to hierarchical, but you can see project 1 is basically linked to the department C, project 2 linked to department B, then this has been linked to this one. Okay, so this interlink connection, okay, this connection, this interlink connection, those are said to be networks, guys. Okay, so to handle the linking type of data, guys, you already know, guys, linking, everyone, all of you, right? You know the linking, you all have the linking options, all of you, right? So agar aap dekhte ho yahan pe, you have the networks. So this networks, see, you have the multiple networks where you have to grow and you have to do the catch-ups, right? You have the lots of options here, everyone, right? You connect with the peoples. So how these are connected? Suppose if I'm connected to some specific person, right? Suppose I'm connected to the Akshay. Okay, this Akshay might be connected to my some of the friend, right? So that particular person might be connected to someone other's friend, right, guys? So you see some kind of a network connections, right? So this kind of a databases, okay, to store this kind of a data, we use the network DBMS, guys. Okay, so for the linking type of storage data, we have the network database management system. Okay, got it, all of you? What is a network DBMS?
Yes.
Perfect. Now one is the relational DBMS. Now, guys, you are basically learning the RDBMS. That is said to be the relational DBMS system. What is meant by relational? Can anyone tell me? Most famous interview question: what is a relational? What is a relation? Tell me. As you have completed over 2 sessions, right? At least
Is means link each other, relational.
No, relation means, guys, the data which is stored in the table format. Simple. The technical word for the table we have, that is a relational. Okay, means the table format kind of a data. That is said to be the relation. Okay, where you store the data in the table format, in tabular format. That is called said to be the relational. Whenever you store the data in the tabular format, which contain rows and columns, that is said to be the, guys, in RDBMS. Okay, and you're going to basically learn throughout this code the RDBMS, guys. Okay, not going to learn the hierarchical, not the network, not the object oriented. You're going to learn the basically RDBMS, because data analyst and business analysts focus on the RDBMS, most of the things. Okay, except the data scientists basically go for the non-RDBMS, object oriented network DBMS for those kind of things. But for the data at the end, a BA person basically focuses on the relational database. Even data scientists use the relation database only. But yeah, keep the things in mind that relation means a data which is represented in a tabular format, table format. Okay, that is said to be the relation, which having the rows and columns. So that's why we have the relational database management system. Okay, and last we have the object oriented database management system. Now this is bit, guys, different contextual databases we have here. The, guys, data basically stored in the form of objects. Okay, all the data is stored in the form of objects. Objects means whatever things you can able to see around your surroundings. That is everything considered as an object, guys. Table, chair, vehicle, car, building. Okay, that is everything considered as an object. So when you save that particular objects in the form of data, okay, we basically call as a object oriented databases, guys. Okay, it is related somewhat the concept of OOPS, okay, which is in the Python. Okay, when you'll start with the Python, there I'll make you understand what is basically an object oriented programming in detail. Okay, So this object-oriented consists of lots of different concepts like transition, integrity, security, queries. Okay, different kinds of concepts we have. Just for now, you have to think of that data is basically stored in the form of objects, and objects basically can be anything, or it can be any entity around a. It can represent any entity in a real world objects. Okay. So all the multimedia types of file, guys, audio, video, pictures, okay, even the structured data, some software applications, unstructured data, any kind of data you have, it basically deals with the object-oriented DBMS. Okay, so these are the different types of DBMS you have, all of you. Got it?
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
till here, you are just learning the database and database management systems and all other stuffs. Okay. Now I'll come to the SQL, guys. What and why SQL, right? You have started with the SQL. So you should know what and why SQL. Tell me, what is SQL again and why we basically use the SQL?
SQL is a structured query language and we
SQL
use this
is
to
like
interact
a
with database.
query of a language.
Okay,
Query
perfect.
language.
SQL is a structure query language, right? It is
Yes.
a structure query language. In order to, guys, interact with the databases, in order to interact with the database management systems, at least we require something, right? Suppose in order to communicate with any particular person, you require a language for it, right? All of you, if you're going any outside the like India, you require at least one particular language, that is English, in order to communicate with the people. If you're not able to communicate in the local language, right, all of you? So require at least one language to communicate with the people. In the same way, in order to interact with your database management system, you require at least one language, right? So that language is said to be, guys, a SQL, called as a structured query language, right? You already know the full form. I'll not write. It's a structured query language. It means you are basically deal with a structured kind of a data. That's why it's said to be a structured query language, guys. It means you're performing everything on a structured data, not an unstructured part. Okay. So we have the SQL things. So is SQL maybe, guys, we have the lots of different you can say different options is given. You can say different languages are there. Okay, you have the you are basically learning the, guys, a TSQL. Okay, TSQL is said to be the transact SQL. Okay, which is provided by the Microsoft and most of famous and overly used this particular Excel in the industry. So we are using the transact SQL. ठीक है, एक ये हो गया. एक आपने MySQL भी सुना होगा, guys. Okay, might be heard of the MySQL. Okay, then we have the Oracle for it. Okay, we have the Oracle. Then we have the Postgres SQL. Okay, Postgres SQL. The syntax of all this particular SQL is same. Okay, there's just the differences we have in the this one. When syntaxes are different, it's just logics and the way of writing the things in queries are almost same. ठीक है, कभी-कभी statement और syntax में बस different है. बाकी almost same, guys. If you are able to learn the T-SQL, okay, if you'll just be focused on the MySQL little bit part, ठीक है. Almost, guys, 90% सेम है सब में. ठीक है, you can think of it 90% is same, just 10% का थोड़ा बहुत difference है उनके syntax लिखने का तरीका. बाकी almost the same. If you learn the T-SQL, you can able to write the query in MySQL also. You can able to write the query in PostgreSQL also. Okay, Oracle के लिए बस थोड़ा बहुत सीखना पड़ेगा. Rest is same. ठीक, कुछ SQL के languages हो गए आपके पास. Okay, now to deal with the structured data, we have the SQL, guys. What if we have the unstructured data? Unstructured data के लिए क्या है हमारे पास deal करने के लिए?
Can I ask one thing?
Yeah, you can.
So, जैसे in tables or in pivot, there has to be a proper structure. The same way, SQL में what are the common things? Like, is this like we need to have the commas and the brackets properly, then only our queries will execute properly? Will it be like
Yeah,
that?
it means like suppose if you want to do that, definitely you have to follow the syntax. Okay, each particular language has its own syntax. Okay, so by using those syntaxes, those formulas, you can able to execute a queries and you can able to insert your data and all. Okay, just like a simple tables means which contains rows and columns, right? In SQL also we have the rows and columns. Okay, just with different naming
Right.
different naming convention. Like table is said to be relation in SQL, rows are said to be some fields, columns is said to be attributes, data is said to be some kind of a different data attributes. Okay, we have the different naming convention, but the commonality is same, just rows and columns. And to insert the rows, to insert the column, to deal with the data bases, okay, everything is basically given by the SQL syntaxes. So those syntaxes we're going to learn throughout the sessions. Okay, Saurabh sir will be there to teach you all those kind of concepts. Okay, so all the basic things, so whatever things are necessary, he'll going to basically there to be with you all.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me. Someone
Hello,
saying
hello.
yes. Hello.
Sir, I have the SQL in the SQL we have not a option of table in Object Explorer. So can I share my screen?
Yeah,
So
after this session, I'll you can share. Okay, I'll say what
okay.
kind of an version you have. Okay, guys. Now to store the structure, you have the SQL. What about if you want to store the unstructured? Any idea?
Like like in not a form way of data, not a forming data.
Okay. So guys, for unstructured part, we have the NoSQL. Simple. Okay. We have the NoSQL. It means data which is not in the structure format. It means it is in an unstructured. So unstructured data basically, guys, follow the JSON type of format called as a JavaScript object notation. Okay. JavaScript object notation, where most of the guys big datas which you have in front of you, you might be heard about the term called as a big data. Okay, which is not even guys basically handled by your SQL server. Okay, means at least your particular SQL server just able to handle around I guess 256 petabytes. Okay, this much amount of basically storage you have for the SQL server, 256 petabytes. It can able to store. Okay, so if your guys data is much more beyond that, okay, if you have the very big data, so for that guys, your data is gets stored in a JavaScript object notations. Okay, which is consist of rows and key value pairs. Okay, data gets basically stored in a key value pair. Suppose like in this format, name and then employee. Okay, done. The name of the employee you can able to give. Suppose I'm giving Akshay here. Okay, I'm giving his age. So when your guys data is stored in this particular format, okay, this is called as a non-structured data format. Okay, JavaScript object notation format. So most of the unstructured data basically saved in this format only. Okay, in JSON format only, guys. Okay, and to store to handle the unstructured data, we have the NoSQL and we have the lots of NoSQL languages like called as a MongoDB. Okay, we have the Apache. Okay, Apache. We have the Cassandra. Okay, we have the Hadoop.
Hello.
Yes.
Uh, what is this Cassandra or Hadoop?
These are different types of languages we have to deal with the
Oh,
unstructured databases. Okay.
okay, okay.
Just like हमारे पास SQL, MySQL, TSQL है, उसी तरह से हमारे पास MongoDB, Apache, Cassandra, Hadoop, Hive, and then PySpark. This all the things has been given to us. Okay. Non-SQL के लिए ज़्यादा हमारे पास databases है, right? So at least if you have encountered this kind of terms, at least you should know कि ये सारे languages क्यों दिए गए हमारे पास. Got it, all of you? Till here? I'll cut to the short. I'll not go in that much detail कि SQL का work कैसे करता है, how this whole query engine basically works. Okay, how this all the things. Okay, because we have the limited time. Okay, so these are the some basic concepts are there. I hope like you have understand, right? This ये सब आपने guys पहले सिखा रहेगा first 2 session में. So I'll go next. Uh, okay, now I'll come to the SQL command classification. All of you, have you learned the SQL command classification? Everyone, tell me. Have you learned the SQL commands classification? All of you?
Yes, I think that DDL.
Yes. So SQL is basically has been classified into 4 particular main language, 4 basically. Okay, there are lots of 5 to 7 classifications are there, but the main are 4 guys. That is DDL, okay, DML, right, DCL, and TCL, right? All of you. And these are the command classifications we have:
Yes.
DDL, DML, DCL, and TCL. That is data definition language. Tell me for the DML.
Data manipulation language.
Data manipulation language. Perfect. Tell me, Abhishek, for the DCL.
Data
Control language.
control
Right.
like
Data control language.
yeah.
Okay. Tell me for the TCL now.
Transaction control language.
Transaction control language.
Transaction control language. Perfect. Okay. और है guys हमारे पास data query language. Okay. Data double query language. Data मल्टी क्वेरी लैंग्वेज तो और भी बेसिकली है, बट these are the four main types हमारे पास basically has been given by the SQL, that is DDL, DML, DCL and TCL. Okay, data definition, data manipulation, data control and transaction control language. Got it? So data definition language means, guys, it means where you basically do and define and modify the structure of a database object like tables, indexes, schemas. Okay, if you're dealing with this kind of things, then you go for the data definition. Once, guys, remember, once anything has been defined, you can't able to redefine it again. Okay, that is a major rule we have. Once something has been defined, you can't able to redefine it again. So DDL के कौन कौन से हमारे पास ये है statements है? We have the create, right? We have the alter, we have the delete, and we have the truncate. Right? These are the statements are there, all of you. For the data definition language, create, alter, delete, and truncate, right? Remember, once anything has been defined, you can't able to redefine it again. Suppose if I want to create a database again, so create is a data definition language, right? If I'll do the database and again I'll going to do the data upload, like in this way, if I'll create it out, I'll get an error that this particular object already exists. So you can see database data upload already exists. So choose a different database name. Can you see, all of you? Once anything has been defined, you can able to redefine it again. Okay, so you have to give the different naming conventions. Okay, so you have the create, alter, delete, and truncate. These are the statements are there which we basically use inside the data definition language. Okay, create का मतलब होता है किसी चीज को create करना. Okay, to use to create a some object in a database. Alter means, guys, to manipulate those objects. It means whatever tables you have created, to deal with the structure of the tables, means to add the rows, to add the columns, to delete the rows, to delete the columns, to change the data type, to change the structure of a table. So for that, we use the alter command for it, right? Delete, guys, delete करने के लिए, if you want to delete specific row, you want to delete data, whole data from the table, so you have the delete, and then you have the truncate, guys. Okay, so there is a difference between the delete and the truncates. Okay, delete will going to delete the basically object of a data, means complete data को delete करता है, but truncate will going to, guys, truncate the whole table. It will going to delete the existence of the table also. Okay, delete में structure and existence रहता है table का, but truncate में everything has been get deleted, erased out. Okay, that all the things we have. Then हमारे पास DML के कुछ statements है. Tell me, guys, what are the statements we have in DML? All of you. We have the select, right? Then we have the insert, then we have the update, and then ये हमारे guys data manipulation के, right? Delete भी कभी कभी हमारे पास manipulation में आ जाता है. Okay, so these are the, guys, statements are there for the data manipulation. Select यानी किसी चीज को select करना. To retrieve the data, guys, to retrieve the data you have the select. To insert the data you have the insert. Data modify करना है, आपके पास update है, और delete और ये सब करना है तो आपके पास delete options है. Okay, so those are the data manipulation statements we have.
What is the difference in update and alter then?
Alter basically will going to change the structure of a table. It means the rows, the columns, adding the rows, adding the columns. Update basically will going to do the data updations. Okay, at a specific row you want to update the data, right? At a specific column you want to update the data, right? At a specific row somewhere in the database, suppose I'll select star from this one. Okay, so if I run this, okay, suppose I want to change this data, right? I want to change this particular data, I want to change this particular data, right? So for this, changing this kind of a data to do the manipulation of this actual data, we use the update command. And alter means to on the structure level, like I want to add one more column, I want to delete the specific row, okay, I want to change the data type of this column, right? I want to hide this columns. So this kind of a things on the structure basis, we basically follow the alter one. Okay,
Okay.
next, guys, we have the data control language. So in DCL, we have the other control, like, guys, we have the grant and revoke. To grant and revoke code, now, guys, you're not going to learn because we are not learning for the database administrator. Database administrator में आपको grant and revoke के concepts आते हैं. It means you have to grant the access user to the access privileges. You have to give it on some particular data set. ठीक है, अगर किसी database पे आपको किसी चीज का access grant करना है, like any other particular users want to do some kind of a manipulation, you can able to grant that a particular access. And if you want that if that work is done, so you can able to revoke that particular access, you're able to take the access back. So to giving the permissions kind of a things, you basically do the grant and revoke, and that comes under the data control language. Okay, accessing the privileges to database and removing the access privileges from the database. Okay, and at last you have the transaction control language, that is TCL, guys. Okay, that is commit, rollback and save transactions. So जब आपका ये start होगा, so trainer will going to tell you about this all the things, commit, rollback and save transactions क्या आता है. Okay, this is a little bit lengthy topic. ठीक है, तो ये सब आपके पास कुछ SQL के command classifications. Okay, once you guys learn this command classification, at least you can able to do the basic manipulation of the databases. आप basic चीजें कर पाओगे easily. Okay, and you should know at least guys these things. ठीक है, interview perspective से you should know at least this kind of things. ठीक है, पूछते हैं कि tell me select comes under which command classification. ठीक है, rollback comes under which classification. ठीक है, alter comes under which commands classification. What is the difference between alter and update? What is the difference between delete and truncate? Okay, if I want to add one more row, how I can able to do that? Can able to write a syntax for it? So this kind of guys, lots of questions you can able to encounter within this command classification only, right? So you should know at least some basic understanding about this command classifications. Got it, all of you? And Abhishek?
So
ठीक है, ये आपकी command classification है. Now beyond this, if you go guys, there are lots of different other things are there, right? Like the asset properties of a databases. Have you heard about the guys, the asset properties of a databases? One of the very famous interview questions we got for the experience as well as yeah, for most of the experienced candidates only. If you're showing around 2 years or 3 years of experience, I basically guys ask this type of question to the candidates in my companies. What are the different asset properties of databases we have? Any idea? All of you? Okay, so asset properties guys stand for atomicity, okay, consistency, isolation, and durability. Okay, so these are the basically 4 concepts of asset properties we have. Okay, most of the questions guys will going to encounter from this asset properties only: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. ठीक है, ये 4 options है आपके पास asset properties के. Now basically, okay, let's understand guys transactions. Okay, first of all let's understand transaction. ये basic क्या होता है guys? These are the important rules. Okay, this atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability, these are the important rules guys, which will help the database, okay, which will ensure that our database basically stays accurate as well as reliable. Okay, and it works efficiently even when the multiple transactions are going on. Okay, transaction means guys, transaction is said to be the group of operations. Okay, transaction means a group of operations. Okay, so a group of operations, okay, which basically handle some kind of things. It means suppose you are updating the database, deleting the database. Okay, simple operation which you are performing, any kind of operations you are performing. Okay, those group of operation is said to be the transactions. Okay, so we have the one technical terms for the group of operation, that is transaction guys. Okay, so these particular rules will ensure that our database stays very safe and reliable and very efficient, and even when the multiple transaction is going on. ठीक है, जब भी multiple transaction same time पे हो रहे हैं, ठीक है, multiple transactions होने के बावजूद भी, okay, अगर हमारा particular databases अच्छे से properly work कर पा रहा है, so that is guys because we have implemented the asset properties in our databases. Okay, that's why it's getting in those kind of things. Okay, so these are some asset properties we have: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. I think you should know there's some
What it is exactly, but what is atomicity and consistency?
let me come, I'm coming to each of this in detail.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, if I'm coming to the first, the atomicity. So the property of atomicity is very simple. Okay, it's simple, it means either all or nothing guys. We have the only 2 slogan for it: all or nothing. Okay, that is the atomicity. It means a transaction either happens completely or not at all. Okay, it can be 100% completely, or guys it should not basically get started also. Okay, if something goes wrong, everything guys will get rolled back to the way it was before. So that is called as an atomicity. Either completely it should perform all the transaction, or it should perform nothing. Okay, example guys, I'm saying you, imagine you are transferring $100 from your checking account to your savings account. Okay, you are basically transferring $100 from checking account to the savings account. Okay, so this involves the two steps, right? One, it will deduct from your deduct the $100. Okay, deduct the $100 from your checking account, right? All of you. And second step is that it will add $100 to your savings account, right? All of you, everyone. These are the two steps will be there. If I'm to transfer from $100 checking account to the savings account, these two steps will be followed. Like suppose if the system fails, okay, after deducting from your checking account, but before adding to the savings account, it means it have basically deducted from the checking account, but your system fails to add the $100 in your savings account, guys. So that particular operation is considered as failed operation, right? So what atomicity will ensure? It will ensure that $100 is again put back in your checking account, guys, right? So you're not basically get lost your money. You guys understand? Have you done this kind of a transaction? Suppose you are trying to withdraw the money, right? But suddenly you haven't able to withdraw, and then you got some kind of a message that you have withdrawn some kind of like specific amount from your account, but you didn't got the cash, right? What that basically term as, that is considered to be the a failed operation, guys. Okay, so in the transactions, in a banking transactions, it will ensure that your atomicity will ensure that again your particular money put back into your original account, right? That is sort of atomicity we have. Got it, all of you? Everyone? What is atomicity? Either perform
Yes.
all the transaction or don't perform any kind of a transaction. ठीक है, सब कुछ ही पूरा perform करो, पूरा end to end, or either perform don't do anything. ठीक है, ये basically simple explanation है atomicity का. Coming to the consistency. Consistency means, guys, you can say maintaining the rules. Okay, while performing any kind of transactions, you have to maintain some rules, guys. Okay, it means database must always follow some kind of a rules, or you can say some kind of a constraints set by the database structure or by the developer. Okay, suppose, guys, not allowing the two or more records to have the same primary keys. Okay, suppose I'll say with an example, consistency, because आपका guys अभी start in your उतना SQL. Let's say, guys, your bank rules is there. Okay, so bank rule is that total amount of money in your checking and saving account together should be equal to $7,000. Okay, जो आपका checking account and savings accounts है, and both accounts your total amount of money should be $1,000. ठीक है, ये आपका rule है, which is set by the bank. Now before the transaction, guys, okay, checking account having around, okay, before the transactions I'm saying checking account have $600. Okay, and savings account, okay, savings account have around $400. Okay, so total it makes $100,000, right? So after transferring, guys, 100 from checking to the savings, okay, after transferring, okay, and after transactions, okay, this is before transactions, this is before transaction. Now after transaction, what is saying that $100 has been transferred from, okay, $100 has been transferred from checkings to savings. चेकिंग से लेकर सेविंग्स में आपका $100 ट्रांसफर हुआ. Okay, tell me what is the amount will be there in the checkings and what will the amount will be in the savings? All of you?
In saving $300 maybe.
No, $100 has been transferred from checking to savings.
$100.
ठीक है,
So
so what is the
checking,
balance?
okay. In
What is
saving 300, in checking 500.
Wait.
Both have $500.
Right, both have $500. देखो ना,
Both.
$100 चेकिंग से सेविंग्स में गया. देखो पहले ट्रांजेक्शन से पहले $600 था, राइट? ट्रांजेक्शन के बाद मैंने क्या बोला, $100 चेकिंग से सेविंग्स में गया, राइट? 600 था, तो 600
Okay,
कितना होता है? $500,
दोनों में
राइट? दोनों में सेम.
checking to